started to struggle financially, and I contacted our mortgage company, which at the time was Countrywide, to see if they could assist us with lowering our mortgage or pre-financing. Shortly after sending my first hardship letter, they were acquired by Bank of America. So I had to start the process all over again with Bank of America and send out a second hardship letter. In the meantime, my husband's income was getting less and less. He cashed in his 401k to help. We also turned to our credit cards to try to help us with expenses. I work full time, but my salary is not enough to pay the mortgage, food, gas, utilities, and daycare. We cut costs by canceling our satellite TV service, our home phone, and daily newspapers, and anything else non-essential. We began shopping at Goodwill for clothes and for food at discount grocery stores. By the time we started falling behind on our mortgage and still could not get an answer from our mortgage company whether or not we qualified for a loan modification. 1 month before my baby was due in January 2009, we finally broke down and asked family to help us get caught up on our mortgage. After Bank of America received our payment and the loan was current, I called periodically to check on the status of our mortgage and whether or not we had qualified for a loan modification. I was told that we did not qualify for a modification because we were current on our mortgage. As you can imagine, I was upset because our financial situation did not change. My frustration grew when they told me to send another hardship letter. This was going to be my third hardship letter, and I told the Bank of America representative that I was sending an email to my Congressman Tom Perriello about my experiences. A couple of weeks later, I received a FedEx package with information and a contract about a trial period for a loan modification, which was to take only 3 months. As long as payments were made on time, correct paperwork was given, and upon review of our debt, seek financial counseling. We signed the contract and gathered up all the information they would need and sent it back in the FedEx envelope they had provided. I called every time a payment was made to make sure they had received it. After the 3-month trial period was over and we did everything we were supposed to do, I did not receive paperwork for a contract for a permanent loan modification. I called and looked online at my account for any updates. I was told that they were backed up and our modification was approved, and we should be hearing something from the underwriter and should be receiving paperwork anytime. I printed the statement that was on my online account with Bank of America saying we were approved for this modification, which also said we should be receiving paperwork. They told me just to keep making my modification payments. I then received a letter from Bank of America stating to comply with the trial modification because of our debt, we needed to obtain financial counseling, which we did, and a letter was sent out to Bank of America letting them know we complied and received counseling. 9 months went by on the trial period, and we received a letter saying we did not qualify for the loan modification, and that we would also have to go back and start making the original mortgage payment. They also said we owed $16,000 to make the mortgage current. We could not come up with the money to make the mortgage current, and they told us that there were several other programs for modifications out there and that they would be looking to see if we qualified for any of them. I called every week and was told they're still looking into it. I then received a letter stating that we did not qualify for any other loan modification, and when I asked why, they could not tell me why. Shortly after this, I received a letter for intent to foreclose. I immediately contacted the mortgage company. The only option my husband and I could come up with was to try to sell the house since it had equity. This was something we did not want to do. We wanted to stay in our home. But Bank of America was not willing to work with us. We were not able to sell the home in the short amount of time that we had, and Bank of America was not willing to postpone the foreclosure sale so we could have more time to sell it. The house went up for auction on Wednesday, August 25th, 2010. Since no one purchased the home, it went back to the investor, Fannie Mae. And we were notified on Friday, August 27th by a RE/MAX agent for Fannie Mae that the home was no longer ours and that we needed to vacate. They offered us a keys for cash, which states that if we left the home room swept clean, all belongings removed, the lawn mowed, that they would cut us a check for $3,686. We felt we had no other options but to take the money and try to use it to get back on our feet. We did not want to come home one day from work and find our belongings in the yard and the locks changed on the house. On On the last day of the move, my husband and oldest son took some items to a friend's house. I was left at the house by myself, finishing the last little items that needed to go in the car. I took some time out to walk the property and say goodbye to some old friends. Chelsea, Blizzard, and Otis, our 3 dogs, and cat Pearl, that are buried underneath the beech tree on the property line. As I cried, I said goodbye to the house and all the trees, bushes, and flowers I had planted. When my husband returned, we locked the house up. I walked over to the climbing rose bush I had planted when we built the house. Picked up a couple of roses, looked at my husband, and started to cry. He hugged me and my son said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" I told him it was because Mommy was sad and didn't want to leave our home. I have settled in at my sister's house with our sons, and my husband is at his parents' house. Neither home is large enough to accommodate all of us, and my husband's father is ill. We are currently looking to rent a home in my son's school district. I just want everyone who has or is facing foreclosure to know I'm telling my story not just for me, but for you. I know the emotional pain, stress, frustration, and uncertainty you feel. I know there are several thousands of people with similar stories, and I've read your nightmare stories on the internet. And the laws about foreclosure process need to be changed, and I'm here today